Do you think that something else was presented to Usman that made it a little bit more appealing? A different fight?
I think money could always change Kamaru or any fighter's mind as far as, hey, what about this fight? And this is, of course,
who's another money fight though over him?
Well, I think you could take a look straight away and say Colby Covington in a rematch is a definite.
More than George? Is more of a money fight than George?
I would say that it's I would think because the first one was better.
I'm going to tell you who's the number. I'm going to tell you who the money fight is.
Let's hear it.
Nick Diaz.
Oh yeah,
it's the money fight. That's the only thing in my mind that makes me think that if they're not going to do the George fight, it's Nick Diaz.
Remember the speculation that Colby was going to fight Edwards, and then that didn't happen. So there's a reason Colby's not in this fight against Leon Edwards.
Maybe.
Yeah, but Bilal Muhammad stepped up and took that Leon Edwards fight. That's after taking a lot of damn nasty leg kicks and that calf kick from Diego Lima, which he ate all of them and did not let it affect him. I'll give it to him. I like Bilal Muhammad. I think he is just a hell of a fighter. Tough dude. The pressure that he created in that fight against Diego Lima was the difference maker in that fight. He pushed Diego to the point all that pressure exhausted him. It's going to be almost the same type of game plan, I believe, for Bilal Muhammad. The question is, does that game plan work the same way against a Leon Edwards as it did against Diego?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so either. I think you got to throw some change up in there.
We're going to see if there's any ring rust from Leon Edwards, but I'm going to tell you right now, man, that speed, you go rushing in like that with that speed, you're going to walk right into something big. Yeah. Whether it's a right hand, whether it's big slams or takedowns, because Leon's grappling has gotten phenomenal. His wrestling has gotten phenomenal. And I want to see what he looks like coming into this fight, knowing that he's had so much time off. That first round's going to be a little bit of an adrenaline dump, probably getting back in there after all this time. But I think his experience and his time away and his probably all rested up. I think he's going to be ready to go. He's going to be amped up and ready to go. When you've had this amount of time off, I went through this little phase myself with some injuries. I just won the title, beat Gil, fought one time after that. And then there was like 18 months, Gil and I were supposed to fight again. And I ended up breaking my ankle and was out for a long time. And I broke it again. Anyways, over and over. But when I came back.
It's because you're fragile.
I was so amped up. Yes, I am. It just stamped a snowflake on me. It was, no, I was just so amped up in that second fight that we had. It was a huge adrenaline.
That while you were fighting, you decided, I'm having so much fun, I won't fight smart.
No, exactly.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
But I don't think Leon's going to do that, but I could see the excitement is there. You want to fight. You're so close to being, at the time I was the champion, but for him, he's so close to being the champion or so close to at least fighting for the title. And knowing that you're right there, we may see a little bit of that adrenaline dump. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see him fight. I think that I want to see if he jumps right back on. Right after the first round, he jumps back on to who he was before this whole thing happened.
Yeah. Well, the question for me is, first off, Bilal Muhammad is an outstanding wrestler. His wrestling is really good, way better than Leon's.
Mm-hmm.
Leon's going to have to do it for a lot longer to match up. Now he can do things that can stop what Bilal does, but the stand up. Leon Edwards is a better stand-up fighter. So this really is going to be that equation of, can Bilal slow down the striking ability of Leon by getting him to the ground? Get him to the ground, he's got a chance. I love the fact that he stepped up to take the fight. And I love the fact that Leon said, you know what? I'll take that fight. I want to fight. He's done with, put it off to another date. He's had too many. And if he was willing to fight the guy that was number 15, he's willing to fight now Bilal. I think it's a good fight for him to come into, and I think it's an outstanding opportunity for Bilal Muhammad to say, hey, here I am, man. Let's see. Because he believes in himself and he's been fighting really well. So this will be fun. I think it's a good fight. It's a good matchup for both.
Yeah, there was a little miscommunication, I think, in last week's show. People thought I was saying that he was ducking Stephen Thompson, all this. No, that's not what I was saying. What I was saying is I wanted to see that fight happen. And if they were gonna force this fight, I knew Stephen couldn't fight right now because he's coming off that injury, but he can fight here shortly. Remember, he was on our show recently.
He told us that he could, I can step this up and I can take a fight.
Yeah, he said basically exactly what he said. And so if they were willing to, look, they've already postponed his fight a bunch of times. If they were going to postpone it another month, Steven could be ready within a month. He said, I'm always training. I'm always ready. I'm in shape. He's like, just give me a little bit more time to actually prepare, and he'd be ready to go. So in my mind, I wasn't thinking that he was ducking him. I was just simply saying, if you're not going to have him fight on the same card that Leon was supposed to schedule to fight on, then bump it another month and Stephen Thompson will be ready. That made sense. That's what I was getting at. Not that either one guy, that Leon was trying to duck him. No, absolutely not. So
that's okay, because my wife asked me, she goes, hey, do you not like Stipe Miocic? Right? And I go, what? Right? She goes, someone on here says that you're a Stipe hater. I go, they said I was a Stipe hater?
They're talking about Josh Thompson.
Obviously, they have not been listening to my podcast. I said, I was the guy. I said, when Stipe is fighting Dan, I was always the guy, arguing with Josh back and forth. I said, no, I love Stipe. Why? She goes, oh, someone on here says you don't like him. Okay.
No, they're probably talking about Josh. They're probably talking about Josh Thompson.
Some people say they like Josh in the comments, so people on there are clueless.
Yeah, right. So I like Stipe. I do like him a lot. I don't like him when he fights DC.
How could you not? Yeah, well, that I can understand.
You know what I mean? So
that's okay.
Good stuff. I'm excited for the Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards fight. That's in 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah.
That's in 2 weeks.
That's a good
March 13th.
March 13th. Good stuff. It's back to Kamaru Usman and Masvidal. I mean, I don't know if that fight's going to end up being the two tough coaches. Usman's coming out saying, I've changed my mind. I'm not being generous. So that kind of leaves us all up in the air. But if you're talking there is a big money fight to be had, I think it'd be insert Nick Diaz. That's the only big money fight that I think would outweigh Masvidal or a Colby Covington fight rematch.
Pretty good call. Good call, Josh.
So if that happened, then
look at the big brain on Brad.
I'd like to see it happen, though. I'd like to see it happen.
But come on. You gotta. All right. I know.
Well, give me Colby.
I love Nick.
Colby and Usman, and then give me George and Nick.
Who has always been the style of fighter that Nick hates?
Wrestlers.
Let me just show you Kamaru Usman.
Yeah. Yep.
And coming off of, he hasn't fought since January 31st of 2016. 15. Jesus. I was a year off.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't see it. Man.
Let me see. Let's just change it up. Let's go Colby and Usman, and let's go George and Nick.
I'm okay with that.
Tell me. That's, and then Nate just lost to George. Now you have big brother Nick coming in to save the day. Let's go.
That's exactly why. You got that whole BMF thing going, and Nate lost him. Well, here comes Nick. I like that. I think that is something you can make something, exciting with. Huge. And I think that the Colby Kamaru Usman is the right rematch. It was a great fight.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great fight, and Colby was in that fight. It was the 5th round was the big difference maker. And if I know Colby was upset with the stoppage, he has no right to be. It was a beautiful stoppage by Mark Goddard, but he was upset. He was still going to lose. You're going to lose that fight. That was already proved by the scorecards were known. So really, Mark Goddard did you a favor, but he was in that fight. Yeah. He was, and it was a really good fight. Could it change? It definitely could. I think Colby is just he's a tough dude. You may not like him, but man, he's tough. When he fights. And I think his style and Kamaru's style, it matches up well. At least it matched up the first time really well.
100% agree.